everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and I'd like to share this project with you today. It's a treat purse, and it's made out of the Naturally Eclectic Designer Series paper pack, but the fun thing about it is the way it opens and closes. It reminds me of those little change purses that had that snap closure to open and close them. But I think it's a fun way to gift a little treat for someone on their birthday or any special occasion. So let me show you how I made it. So here's the envelope punch board, and here's my 8x8 inch piece of Designer Series paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to start on the 1 1/4 inch. So line one of the sides up to the 1 1/4 inch. The 1 inch is the one that's right next to the punch, and then the 1/4 inch beyond that. So we'll go ahead and punch it and score, but be careful scoring this one because it does go off the paper. So the corner's about here. You don't want to tear your paper, just go to that section. All right, now let's turn it around. And we'll do the same thing on the exact opposite side. So 180 degrees. Here is the piece I've scored over there. So now we have the other side up here. And we'll punch and score again. Be careful going off. All right. Now turn it 90 degrees to the other side and go to 3.5 inches and punch and score. Okay. And turn that 180 degrees and put that side up and punch at 3.5 inches and score. All right, we're going to take just a minute to fold and burnish our score lines, because there are some lines that we have that don't end in a punch, and we'd like to go ahead and get all that. So let's go ahead and fold and burnish all of these so that we can see where those lines that we weren't able to score completely ended up. All right, so we got all that. All right, so I have a dark side and a very patterned side. I'm sure I didn't pick the best paper, but it's really pretty. That's why I picked it. All right, so you have two that go this way, and these are the ones we scored at the 3.5 inch. And you see we have a punch on this side and not on this side. And then we have a skinny one that goes across the diagonal this way, and we have a punch on one and not on the other end of the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it back on it, and we're going to punch all those lines that don't end in a punch. So we have a score line there. We'll line that up with the nib and punch it. Turn it around, we have a score line right there. So we'll line that one up with the nib and we'll punch it. Turn it around, we have that long score line. We'll line that one up with the nib, punch that one. And our last one over here, line that one up and punch it. Okay, so that's what we have right now. We have a wider section and a skinny section. And every one of our score lines ends in punches on each side. All right, let me move that out of the way. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're just going to fold these little, looks like the little tab on the end. We'll just fold it in, try to get that centered, and punch it to prepare it for to receive the ribbon for the handle. Let's do it on this side too. We'll take the 1/8 inch punch, and we're going to punch it on the tab side of that score line. And that's how we'll thread the ribbon through when we get to that point. All right, mostly centered, but if you're not exactly centered, that's okay. So we'll do this other one as well. Right on the tab side of that score line. Okay, so we're ready for our ribbon when we get to that one. The last thing we have to do before we put the box together is fold the top down. If you can see right there, it was folded down about here, which is 2 inches down from the top. So you can measure 2 inches down from the top, or you can just eyeball it. And what I like to do is to try to make it even on both sides, so I know where my point is on the top, and I can kind of line it up on the bottom. We'll go ahead and score that, or sorry, burnish that. And what I did is I just lined it up on the other side so I knew that they were both even. So I could make the scores even. All right. All right, so there it is. All right, so let's go ahead and put our box together. The first thing we're going to do is put some snail on these little folds that we just made on the fold, and fold that over on both sides. And then we'll go ahead and cut. If you have the wide section facing towards you, go ahead and cut up the score line on both sides of that wide section. So I know it's hard to see with the dark on one side and the pattern on the other, I'm sorry. But cut up and then just go ahead and make a little bit of a wedge. And do that exact same thing on the other side. Cut up and make a little wedge. Okay? Alright, turn it around and do the same thing again. Alright, so go ahead and get some snail, and we're going to put on the outside of these 4 triangular tabs, we'll put some snail. Okay, so pull that in, we'll line up that edge and press it down. Same with that side. All right, let's go ahead and burnish those down. Press it really in with the press it down with the bone folder. All right, and that's our little purse bag. So what we're going to do is go ahead and you can fold it up or keep it down, but fold those in. I'll probably fold it down. And just press to make a little bit of a crease on the side there. All right, go one side. Do the same thing with this one. Push it in, pinch it in, and press to make a crease in there as well. All right. And then we'll go ahead and put our tabs in there. Now I went ahead and pre-punched and pre-stamped the tabs to save a little time. And the set is so cute. There's so many different things. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to put a happy on one and a birthday on the other. So this will be on the back of the purse, and this will be on the front of the purse so you can see the birthday. The scallop circles I did with Berry Burst. The happy and the birthday are done with Night of Navy, and the little cake, which is adorable, is done with Peekaboo Peach. So let's go ahead and fold those in half and get ready to put them on. How I did it was I measured across the top of the purse, and let's see, I'm out in the corners 3 inches across the top of the purse. So right at 1.5 inches. I made a little bit of a mark, so I knew right where that was. So halfway on the top, I made a little mark. And what I'm going to do is, if you see the punch, or yes, the punch, once you fold it over, it looks like a head and shoulders. Right where the neck is, on that notch where the neck is, I don't know if that's easy to see against, but right where the neck is, right on that notch, I want to put that right at the center mark, or right as close to the center mark as I can. I want to line up these shoulders with the top of the purse, and of course the tab will go up over the purse. So I'm going to put a strip of fast fuse down the center of the entire tab. And I'm going to bring it to my purse, and right where I put that mark is where I'm going to make sure that notch sits. And I'll put the shoulders right at the top of the purse. And let's fold that over. Okay, that's our first one. Now we're going to do the exact same thing with the second one, but it's going to go on the other side of the bag. Just remember that you want them to see the writing both from the front. So what I did was, because I put a strip right down the middle, I just hooked it right into this one where I wanted the tab to go, and I closed the purse together. See that? So I hooked it right under the tab and hooked those 2 neck notches for the punch, and I closed it, making sure that my shoulders of that tab were level with the top of the purse, which I've got it crooked. All right, there you go. Not so crooked anymore. All right, and then we'll go ahead and close that one on there. And then when you close it, it looks like those little snap change purses. Now I went ahead and bent, let's see, this one forward just a little bit and this one backward just a little bit so that it would notch together. And that's how it is. All right, so let's get the handle on. All right, so for that notch that we did, we punched out a hole, and this might be a little difficult to see, but we punched out the hole in there. And what I'm going to do is just make a little line of fast fuse going straight over that hole, and I'm going to thread one end of my ribbon into that hole. I'm going to pull it through probably just about maybe an inch, maybe a little less than an inch, and stick it down to the fast fuse that's below the score line, because I put a fast fuse strip from there to there. Now if you need any more fast fuse to kind of hold it down, go ahead and put it on, or another adhesive if you want to use another adhesive as well. And then just close that down over the top of it. Okay? Now make sure you do the same thing to this other side. I'll go ahead and flip it over. Okay, we have our hole there and that we punched into our little tab there. I'm going to put some fast fuse on it. So it's all ready to go. I'm going to make sure that my ribbon is straight all the way across and bring it around outside the tab and bring it through that hole. Pull it through about a little less than an inch and stick it down to that fast fuse that I stuck down. See how I have it in there? It's through the hole. I've got fast fuse over the tab and it's stuck down there. All right, so go ahead and fold that tab down. And then you have your purse. You have your purse handle in place. Go ahead and squish that back out, close it up, and there we go. Now for a little embellishment, I put a ribbon on there. And how I did that was I took maybe about a little under 5-inch piece maybe of the finely woven ribbon, and this is Berry Burst. I put, where's my piercing tool? I took one glue dot and stuck it in the middle so I could stick it together, because I wanted to have it like this and have it stay like that. So I kind of took it right like that, stuck it in there, she says. Okay, there it's like that. And I thought it was a cute embellishment if I actually tied a ribbon around it. So how I did that was I took some of that, which I had over here a moment ago. And how I do this is I'll make a little loop right in the middle of the 1/8 inch ribbon. And as I said, this is still the Sending Love ribbon, but I'm almost done with it. And then I'm ordering the 1/8 inch sheer ribbon that's in Whisper White, that's in the catalog. All right, so when you get that loop around there and snug it down, and go then kind of twist it open a little bit. I like that pinched look on it. That's why I wanted to do it this way. And finish tying your bow. Now, if you have another set of hands, like sometimes my daughter crafts with me, that would be beautiful, because then you can get all this done with a second set of hands. But it is workable for one person. It just takes a little longer. All right, so see, isn't that sweet? That makes a sweet embellishment, I think. All right, let me cut the ends of that off. And then take a glue dot on the back of that. And we'll stick it right to the front of the, I don't want to obscure the happy or the birthday, so we'll just stick it right there so the ribbon kind of goes at an angle. And there you go. There's the sweet treat, a little purse, treat purse holder with a circle tab snap closure. I'm not sure what I'm calling it yet, but it'll probably be something close to that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you give it a try because it's really sweet and it holds a lot of nice little treats in there. And until I see you again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye.